Childhood is a very, very untrustworthy thing. You could swear that something's good when you're a kid, and then you suddenly grow up, and you kind of end up wanting to slap your younger self in the face for liking what you did. I definitely fell victim to that. Twice. But let me explain why. You see, I tend to like bad movies. I'm pretty sure a lot of people know this. Don't know if I brought that to YouTube yet. But I digress. Today's case of bad is Happily Never After 1 and 2. This is gonna be a two-parter, people. This is not gonna be anything short of a miracle because I'd never do something like this in a million years initially. But I'm doing it because I'm honestly really scraping the bottom of the barrel. Shall we get this started? After, no joke, a full, solid, uncut minute of company logos, we finally get into the movie.
Doers of our kingdom!
Wait a minute. What are those body proportions? Like, Jesus Christ, maybe she started this whole unhealthy Instagram model thing. I'm scared to look her up on Google. I don't want to see what I'll find in the images. Anyway, let's get back into the movie before I just go on a rant about that. And then, you know, a villainous rant, blah, 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 and then...
Hold it! Would the owner of a light blue coach with Narnia plates please move your vehicle?
What?
You're parked in a trolls-only zone. Thank you.
How was that necessary to the plot?
While I have your attention, you see that there? That's what we call a wicked stepmother. Feel free to boo.
Yeah, because I'm so used to that look for a wicked stepmother.
I know what you're thinking. Who put a wicked stepmother in charge? Are there free elections? Any chance of a recount?
Huh, what a coincidence. I'm watching this in 2020 and there's political
You
justice.
know what? Let's go back a little, and I'll give you the lowdown
Really, bro? You gonna cut me off?
on Fairy Tale Land. Yeah, the name's kinda corny, but we had to call it something, and Canada was already taken.
Okay, that joke was admittedly pretty funny. I don't know why.
In this tower, high above the Prince's Palace, is what you might call the Department of Fairy Tale Land Security.
Did we really need a Department of Homeland Security? Did we really need that joke? We did? Okay.
Are watched over by a wizard.
I don't remember him much.
Make sure every fairy tale goes by the book, right up to their happy endings. And that's why he has these. The scales of good and evil. See that? They have a little pointer and everything. Now, as long as he keeps those things...
Okay, you know what? If you're so interested in the exposition, I will leave a link to the movie in the description because it is available on Tubi TV for free to watch. Listen, I'm sorry, this exposition is extremely long. I'm just gonna skip to the character introductions for the 4 main characters in the movie because there are 4.
The wizard also has 2 assistants, Monk and Mambo. Monk's the guy who sees the glass as half empty. Mambo's the guy who probably peed in the glass.
Ha, pee joke. That's funny. That's totally funny in 2020. Yeah, we're past the 2010s. We're past the 2000s. That's totally funny in today's time. Please someone kill me now.
Troublemaker. Yeah, these are the guys you want to trust your happy ending to.
And more really dragged out exposition that honestly could have been way shorter without all the jokes.
And then there's one fair maiden, Ella. You probably know her as Cinderella, but she's always been Ella to me. She's in love with that prince you just saw. What does Ella see in Prince Potato Head? I have no idea, but just...
Dude, you're not from New York. Cut it with the accent.
A girl like that could never fall for an ordinary guy like... So, you might be wondering by now who I am. Well, have a look. No, not Blondie McBiceps. No, look to the left. Keep going. There I am. You know the Cinderella story, right? Remember Rick the servant? Of course you don't. I'm the guy who polishes the prince's boots. I'm the guy who washes his dishes and serves his meals and does his laundry and flosses his teeth.
Wait, what now?
You know what kind of happy ending the royal flosser gets? Right, none. So, that's everyone important, and me.
Okay, because I cannot stand how long this took. let me just point out who you really need to pay attention to because I think they were a little confused. Fairy godmother's not important to this story because she only shows up like once throughout the entire movie. The evil stepsisters are not important at all because again, they show up like twice. The evil stepmother has nothing on the plot except for the beginning and the end. The prince, let's be honest, he's just a dumb character. And the wizard, again, not important because he shows up twice throughout the movie at the beginning and the end. That's freaking it. So, you only need to pay attention to 4 characters. Rick, Ella, Monk, and Mambo. Because those are the only ones that are actually important characters. Sorry to criticize you, Vanguard, but in total honesty, this was just a mess of exposition. I needed to fix that. So how does the movie look? Well, for 2006, the movie doesn't look bad at all, actually. It could be much better, but of course, this isn't exactly the biggest budget, so I'd say it looks pretty good for 2006. Vanguard and Berlin, you guys did go with this one. Graphically, of course. Because, honestly, there's a lot wrong with this movie that I don't want to point out. There's already a ton of reviews doing that. So I'm going to point out what's good about the movie because that's something that not a lot of people seem to do. This is going to be annoying, isn't it? Actually, surprisingly not, because this movie has a lot going for it. If it just had a bit of a bigger budget, it might have done a lot better. Let me explain. For example, you can clearly see that the directors actually tried to focus on slapstick comedy, which in some cases it doesn't quite land, but in the majority of cases it lands and it is pretty funny. Like, here's one thing. I don't know what about that scene was funny to me. I think it was either the voice actor or the fact that she was actually hit by one single diamond and went down, but it was just funny as hell to me. I still don't know why. I found it funny as a kid and I still find it funny now. And you can tell they went through a lot of work to make the characters look original because Ella looks very pretty, honestly. And Rick, while he is just the servant to the prince, he actually looks pretty good. I'll admit that. He's not a bad looking guy in the movie. The lighting's awful, but the characters don't look bad. They tried. And the physics for the hair aren't bad either. As a matter of fact, they're pretty accurate for the most part. The only thing is the hair itself doesn't look so great. But again, the physics don't look bad whatsoever. I just thank God they didn't get the evil stepmother physics, because if they did, that would have been a dumpster fire then, it would have been a dumpster fire now with society, because Jesus Christ, people are sensitive today and where before it too. And Rick is one of the most relatable characters too, because honestly, he's kind of been through hell in the movie. He's been mistreated and just like completely just ignored by everyone in Fairy Tale Land, because the prince doesn't really appreciate him and doesn't acknowledge him. Ella doesn't really feel the same way that he feels for her, which he's in love with her, so you know, there's partially a reason there. And he's just completely shrugged off throughout the entire movie, and he just doesn't care anymore. He's gotten to the point where he's like, you know what? Yeah, I am who I am. I don't care anymore. He's the most relatable character in this entire movie, and honestly, thank God he exists. Now, how's the voice acting? The voice cast isn't a bad selection at all. It's just the delivery of some lines can be a little weird, and there's a lot of voice cracks. Kind of like this. I died a little inside when I did that. Some of the voice cast selection, like Sigourney Weaver, Freddie Prinze Jr., Patrick Warburton, and even Andy Dick, is honestly not a bad decision at all, despite one's controversies. But of course, there's always going to be something up with their deliveries, because this just didn't have the budget to have a proper direction. So, slight excuse there. By the way, there's like one scene out of this entire movie that honestly always makes me feel kind of happy. Not happy like in, you know, like the joyous sense, but like happy how it ends up, because it is, oh, it is so pure and it makes me feel so much better than I ever would. Fair bit of warning, I don't own any of the music in this movie whatsoever, so the music in this may be copyrighted and you may see a content ID claim below. Honestly, I don't care because I'm not monetizing this video, so yeah, here's the entire scene, uncut.
So, I'm finding Ella's prince for her. This was the last thing I wanted to do. But We both knew how the story had to end.
So here we are, stuck in the middle of a rushing stream. Is a fairy tale or a silly dream? I'm gonna do my task, but is it too much to ask? Do I get what I want? Will I want what I get? Do I get what I want? Will I want what I get? Do I get what I want? Will I want what I get from you?
I have a choice, but can't figure out a place to start. Is it in my head or in my
I'd hate to wait too long just to find out I was wrong.
Do I get what I want? Will I want what I get? Do I get what I want? Will I want what I get? Will I get what I want? Do I want what I get? Do I get what I want? Will I want what I get?
If she gets what she wants, will she want what she gets?
And as you can guess from that scene, the movie ends with the story changing. Ella clearly doesn't marry the prince. Why would anyone think otherwise? They did a bad job of concealing that ending, but then again, that clip was also from way later in the movie, so I don't care much. I'm not gonna spoil the ending for you guys because the little music video back there already did it, but yes, they did get married, and it's surprisingly the most, like, the high point of the movie. It like gradually went. Matter of fact, I think it's better to visualize it. Yeah, that's about right. Also, this movie has the funniest post-credit scene I've ever seen.
Back, bad creature, get back, you! Oh, ah. All of you, get back! No, no! Oh, I'm the Empress of Evil!
Also, a little bit of a post-editing thing. There was something up when I was editing this video because the movie was oddly out of sync. It wasn't like this before. I have no clue what was going on here. Like, it's just weird. I had to fix it myself. So that was one of the best, worst animated films I've seen. And only part 1 to this entire thing. There's gonna be a sequel down the line to this whole thing. Regarding the sequel, actually, which is significantly worse, so, yeah, that one might be a little longer than this one. So, that's enough for part 1. I highly encourage you guys to go watch the movie, even if it's bad. It's honestly something that's really enjoyable to watch, even if you're just bored or you actually want to pay attention to the plot. So yeah, just stay tuned for part 2, which should be coming out in about 2 weeks' time.